What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Hunter x Hunter chapter 358. Came off a wild one last chapter 357. I was actually a bit kind of shocked or surprised to kind of find, I guess, maybe the kind of level-headed feedback slash like slightly agreeing feedback with last episodes. I thought we were, or I was in for another kind of like Karapika Uvo type video where it was just mayhem with the comment section and everything. And if you notice, I didn't respond to any of the comments for 357. I apologize. I haven't had that many comments on a video in a long time. I think we're at like 90 or something. I went through and read every one, and I think I liked and favorited every single comment. But it was kind of a lot of the same, and I didn't want to give a reply to one person when somebody else kind of commented the same thing and then copy and paste the same reply, and it was a lot. But I did read every single comment. A lot of you DM'd me on Twitter, and I think 2 or 3 of you posted it in the comment section on the video to a Reddit. I got like 2 or 3 Reddit posts. Luckily, none of them had spoilers in it, so I appreciate that you guys sent me those that didn't have any spoilers in it pertaining to anything after. Of people's initial reactions. Like, these are like 4 or 5 years ago when the chapter came out, giving me links to Reddit posts to people just like going off on one side or the other. I went ahead and skimmed through and read a lot of that. Luckily, it wasn't spoiled on anything of that. I kind of just want to address it one more time, like that whole thing. I mean, I've got a bunch of notes. I went here and read your guys' comments and stuff that I just kind of want to go over, and then we can just kind of leave. We can leave the Hisoka Crollo / 357 discussion right here, and then going forward, we can just talk about the upcoming chapters and kind of go from there. So I saw a lot of people kind of agreeing with what I said, and then a lot of people also disagreeing, but it wasn't just disagreeing with like slander. It was disagreeing with like why they, disagreed, which I feel like when that happens, it's easy to see how, and I saw it like all over Reddit, and you guys told me this is to this day still the most kind of decisive which side of the fence you're on of anything in Hunter x Hunter manga, like starting from the very beginning with like the Hunter exam stuff all the way to wherever it is right now, that this chapter and what specifically happened in it divided the fan base, whether it was 50-50, 75-25 this way, but like, you just had people on both sides of the fence. And I guess for me personally, I've never been a Hisoka fan, nor did I dislike him. I felt nothing towards Hisoka throughout the anime, and then same thing in the fight. Like, I don't hate him, nor is he one of my favorite characters. I'm just like in the middle. When he shows up on screen, he's good for a laugh, and it's like, oh man, he's like such a good fighter. But then like when he's off screen, like I don't care to see him. So like him dying to me, or like I wouldn't be on the side of like, well, he's one of my favorite characters, so I'm glad he came back. But I just have some notes here, and then I need one more question answered. This is a big question that I need answered, and I brought it up in my Patreon Discord, but I haven't had anybody reply to. Oh well, hold on. Let me. Also, could not find a concrete answer of Carlos saying. Yeah, so it looks like I actually did get 2 people answered, like a couple hours ago, and I just now checked it. This is the question. Does anybody know, or has it been confirmed, what happens to the Nen user when Crollo takes their ability? Can they still use Nen and other abilities? And it's just that specific ability that is lost to them? Or are they completely Nenless, and they're basically like gone in Killua and Leorio and Karapika just graduating the Hunter exam? They can still be a skilled fighter and have quickness and like more than ordinary strength, but like they're completely Nenless. I had 2 people answer me and saying there's no confirmation either way, so it's just kind of like confusing. I'm trying to think of somebody that has like multiple uses of their ability. So let's go with Moral, for example. We've seen him use many applications of his smoke, what he does with his pipe. Now I don't know if Crollo takes the pipe, if Crollo takes the Moral's ability, if he's actually going to need the pipe. Like, I'm not going to get into that specifics. I'm talking about Moral specifically. Let's say he takes Moral's deep purple ability, where he's able to make those clones, and it's kind of hard. How we've seen the deep purple. You all know what I'm talking about. Can he still use the smoky jail? Can he still make clones of himself? All that kind of thing. Like all the crazy applications we saw Moral do with his smoke. Are now all those abilities off limits to him? He can't activate Nen at all, or it's just deep purple. It looks from what I'm being told that it's not confirmed. We have no idea. So I'm. It kind of leaves me, and that leads me to like Shalnark and Kuratopi dying. Granted, I know Kuratopi. You guys have let me know multiple times. The weakest, like hand-to-hand physical troop member that there is. Whether they had the copy ability or not, Hisoka's going to kill Kuratopi. Shalnark's a manipulator, so they don't like to get, hand-to-hand kind of stuff as well, but he's a hunter as well, so he had to do some things and pass the exam and do that going on, so he would have some kind of skill to him, but again, he probably kills Shalnark as well. But you guys, I had a lot of people like, well, Kuratopi didn't have their ability, Shalnark didn't have their ability, but I saw other people arguing in the comment section and in the Reddit, like, they're still active Nen users that can do things. So again, I don't know if they lose all their abilities. That's he say or she say. But again, I don't care for Hisoka. So if he was to really die here and be eliminated from the story, I wouldn't feel either way about it. And I can't say like, it was the greatest fight ever. It's the first anime fight I've ever read, or manga fight I've ever read, but I really, really got into it deep. Like, I was enjoying it. And I don't know if that's just a credit to this specific author's writing, if this is kind of how a lot of fights in manga will go. But I feel like this was a good fight to start with, because this fight, you needed to kind of sit and digest what was actually happening. And you had to like analyze and reread and reread. Other fights, if they're just kind of flashy and it doesn't have a lot of abilities, like a lot of in-depth abilities on what's happening, it's just like, people hulking out, Super Saiyaning out and spamming like blast after blast, maybe it wouldn't have like dove me in that deep. But I really greatly enjoyed the fight, and I just felt like it was soured with the ending. So just some things, a lot of themes that were brought up in the comment section. People are saying there's a stronger conviction. So Hisoka now has a stronger conviction. He has unfinished business. And then I saw this 50-50 in the comment section, so I have no idea. People are saying Hisoka now currently is stronger. People are saying he is actually weaker. I don't know which one it is. I've got people saying his Nen is now stronger because he now has a conviction. He knows he has unfinished business, and it's like driving him, making his Nen stronger. I have other people saying it's not making his Nen stronger at all. He's physically weaker, and he's actually weaker in general. I have no idea. You guys did let me know that he's still damaged, and that we saw like his foot kind of splat into bungee gum. That's why I couldn't tell like if he stepped in something or what that was. But he's basically just covering himself up with makeup. So the hand is still gone. So it leads me to believe like he pretty much has to keep bungee gum on it at all times, and probably use and get efficient with using bungee gum from that leg and from that hand, because if he really gets into like a hand-to-hand combat thing, and the hand and leg kind of get like blasted off in a way, he's going to be keeping it activated either way. And that's another thing like that's been in my mind, is like, is that draining for him to kind of keep that going? Hisoka is a very strong fighter. He's very skilled. But has he ever kept bungee gum activated, or whatever we're calling it that he did with the texture surprise? And I forgot the specific ability that he called, but has he ever kept something activated for 24 hours all the time? Well, no, granted, when he's sleeping and stuff like that, he doesn't have to keep it activated. But for him, he's now going to have a bounty on his head. Who's to know that the troop's not going to come for him? Granted, we'll probably find out as the story goes. And then you guys let me know that there's no condition for Nen after death. And then this was a big thing that I saw. A lot of people had this in the Reddit thread. You guys didn't have this, but a lot of people, had thousands of upvotes, hundreds of upvotes. So at least it doesn't seem like this isn't like not somebody just speaking because they were unhappy, but they felt that now death since the Chimera Ant arc, that I saw a lot of people say this, since the Chimera Ant arc up into wherever the manga is right now, that there's been a lot of I don't want to use the word plot holes, but they use the word plot holes, or just kind of unexplainable writing, or why are we doing this when the story was never kind of like that. They didn't know if it was attributed to his health, if he's just kind of pandering to favorites or to his readers. But since the Ant arc, there's been a lot of plot holes and conveniences and very big stretches. Now, I don't know. You guys can disagree with that statement or not disagree with that statement. And now death just doesn't like mean anything, you know, with Gon and after what happened to him, and how there's seemingly no consequences for oh god, what was it? What was Killua's sister's name? There's no consequences if you get it down perfectly to have any wish, you know? Can grant any wish with no consequences. And then you've got Hisoka coming back, and I saw a lot of people saying, and this is what I kind of felt as well, was Hisoka just brought back because he was a fan favorite, you know? And is it just a way to like keep him in the story, that kind of stuff? I don't really don't know. It just seems like, and like I said, it just seems like a convenient way to keep him in the story. Are we calling it an ass pull? It doesn't sound very ass pull-ish, because I've seen people give reasonable explanations on how and why, but it's also like very convenient to like keep him in the story as well. Again, I don't know if he's stronger. And then my argument for it, if he is stronger, why don't we all, as Nen users, try to do that? As far as now, it's a little bit different if you did it in training as opposed to really like you're fighting for your life and failing. But if I'm a basic Nen user, why don't I have someone just like suffocate me to death and train my Nen to bring me back if it's gonna like Zenkai boost me, if Hisoka is indeed stronger. And I just feel like he's just like running around like a spoiled kid that like didn't get what he wanted. The whole entire, and maybe it's character growth for him, and maybe that's why he's conveniently brought back so he can advance on his character. But if we're going to advance on his character, why even lead him to the point of him dying? And again, I just never feel like we see Hisoka actually, you know, stressed or worried. Like even here, it was hard to gauge his tone. He's like, well, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Might as well give it a shot. I've never seen him like shaking, like fear for his like internally. Like we've seen Gon say like I'm scared, and Ned and Killua be like I can't win, I need to run, type thing. Hisoka never seems to falter, never seems to do anything. And now all of a sudden, because he got his ass beat when he asked for this, he's asked for this multiple times. And he said, you know, you pick the time and place. Now that he lost, all of a sudden we're going to throw a fit and go start killing people and doing this and doing that. And it's just like, bro, like you, the whole time you've been, you know, leaving people alive, you know, culturing them up, waiting for them to kind of mature and ripen. And now that you actually lost, now you want to throw a fit and go around killing troop members that killed you, that he used their abilities to kill you. Like, you asked for this. You wanted to fight to the death, and you lost. And now we're freaking out. And then it's another thing, it's like, I'm not the biggest Kurapika fan, but now it's like, and I saw someone bring this up in a Reddit post as well, Hisoka's not going to die to any other troop member but Chrollo. Can we agree on that? Can we be honest with ourselves here? They're not going to kill Hisoka off by any other troop member. If Hisoka dies, again, it's going to be with a Chrollo rematch, something of that effect. And he's probably going to beat Chrollo the second time, because we know that Kurapika's got to be what? Chrollo has to be what Kurapika's going to finish off, you know, the whole revenge train, you know, it's going to be for that. You're not going to have Nobunaga kill him or Phaeton. It's just not going to happen. You know, like, let's be honest with ourselves. It's like, as popular as Hisoka is, he's not going to die off-screen fighting 1v1. Not even off-screen, but he's not going to die fighting 1v1 in an alley with flipping Shizuku or something like that. Any troop member he comes across in the story, he's going to kill. So, like, it's like you can't even take any future fights with him and troop members seriously, because you already know what's going to happen. It just seems wild to me, like there's just no drawback to the Nen after death. Like with Pito, when she kind of puppeted herself back, was so determined. If Gon hadn't been able to put her down after that, would she just walk around headless? serving the king, or like how does that work? I mean, granted, maybe without a brain, the body's going to eventually die off, but like, where does it end, type thing? And you guys let me know it was more just like reviving the heart and the lungs, not like he had, his stomach was completely obliterated or his kidneys were, chopped up into pieces. It was easy, just kind of like CPR things, but that seems like a big deal, does it not? Like, and I know there's like, you guys let me know there's no condition for it. The condition was his death, but I'm looking at it in the instance of like, you cheated death. You died and you are now alive. That is a big deal, I feel like. Whether you had to do it under restrictions or just like a strong will to, come back. And if he is stronger, which a lot of people are saying, and he could be not, which a lot of people are also saying, like, besides the physical consequences, I mean, he can walk around fine and still seem to fight, but I don't know. It's just a lot. And another question I had, are the abilities, once the original user dies, is the ability gone from Kurlo's book? Is it like what's his name? Leol's Tiger Receipt iPod MP3 thing, like when the user dies he can't like recall upon that ability, or does Kurlo still get to use the ability? I'm not quite sure on that. You guys will be able to follow up and let me know on that, because I feel like if it is, yeah, Hisoka still killed a couple, but Kurlo still has access to those abilities. And a lot of people are just saying, like, how long was he dead? And, like, how long could you really, like, CPR yourself post-death? And this is another thing I brought up. I think this was also convenient. Kurlo, Machi, Shalnart, Kurtopi, you've worked with Hisoka. You know what type of person he is. He can never be trusted. Even if you had the coroner and the doctors and you checked him yourself, said he was dead, how the hell are you just going to leave him there and not seal him, sedate him, strap him down, do something? Of anybody, you guys should be the ones to know not to trust that man. It just, I don't know. It just actually blows my mind that like they like even allowed that to happen. Like if I'm Krollo or I'm them, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this again. I'm gonna flippin' dismember this man because I don't trust him point blank. Period. So it's just a lot. I'm trying to see was there anything else we wanted. I would just want to get this all out one time so we don't have it trickling into like 359, 360, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and like I said, and I saw a lot of people talking about it, he's gonna win every single fight against every other troop member to go on this revenge mission to get Krollo back. So like he's not gonna die to anybody else that's not Krollo. So if I see him face off against somebody, I'm already gonna know the outcome. If it goes to the death, now the other troop member could be saved, or maybe the troop members are never stuck one-on-one again. And it just seems like being able to bring yourself back, yeah, the cost is death, but the fact that you can just like sprout up and go right back in there through life, and there's not like a time limit on you, I feel like, yeah, after death, bring me back, but there's gotta be like, you can't just live out the rest of your days like nothing happened. You died. Like there's gotta be a restriction on your nen. There's gotta be something. And I don't know. I don't think there's anything else. And yeah, I said, like, is there a limit to this? I know like his organs weren't extremely damaged, but who's to say that him or somebody else couldn't do that? My heart got completely exploded. I want my nen to create a new one. And I put that on myself. Is that, capable if I'm able to do that? Talked about Pito just roaming around headless. Yeah, it just seems convenient for the story. I don't know if it's because if it's a fan favorite, if it's an ass pull, if it's just a way to keep Hisoka involved in the story. Do the abilities in Krollo's book vanish after they die? And yeah, how they could just, even in death, I wouldn't trust Hisoka. And then even somebody, it's not like Krollo didn't know about Nen after death, and they don't know about it. I wouldn't put it past, that to happen, but, it just is what it is. And yeah, when you, and this is, I love Dragon Ball as much as the next person, but when you start down this, like, death has no consequence, the story doesn't hit as hard. when people are like always coming back to life. I don't care how big of a fan favorite it is. If you didn't want that to happen, to have to deal with like a fan favorite dying and then bringing them back to life and people not taking your story seriously, then don't write them to die in the first place. You know, back to Naruto, like I love me some Gaara, one of my favorite characters, but had he had really died to the to Sasori and Deidara and actually stayed dead, that would have like, whoa. Had Kakashi really died to pain, yeah, that would have been serious. Now, both those characters were brought back to life to, you know, they had parts to play in the story. If you wanted them to play those parts, just keep them alive in the first place. If you want Hisoka and the troop to interact on the boat with everybody else, don't write in right before that Hisoka dies. You know, don't bring Gon back to life. At least with Gon, I can respect reviving him, but basically making him useless, you know? And it's all different circumstances, and, you know, Hisoka's wasn't as serious, and X, Y, and Z, but for as like great as a Nen power system is made out to be, and everything always seems to have an explanation, and there's always got to be a consequence, and you've always got to give something up. And what Hisoka gave was his life to then, you know, get that revitalization back. But after that, it's like, what's the cost besides the death? That was it. So if he had not blown up a hand, and if he had not blown up a leg, he would be in perfect condition right now. You know, some scars. It happens. But he'd be in perfect condition, and some of you are saying even stronger. So if, I know he's missing a hand and missing a leg, but say he didn't, those didn't blow up, and he just had some damage done to his face, and the man's coming back to life and stronger, it's like, sign me up for that. You know? So I'm just going to leave it there. Again, I see both sides of the argument. When it's explained on why you're okay with how it went, I can get behind everybody's explanation. I just feel like it didn't. I saw a lot of people saying this, and then that's just the word that, like, it comes to my mind. Like, it was just lame. It was just lame. That's like the perfect word I could think of. I enjoyed the fight. I loved it. I loved the levels to it, and I love how it was like after Corolla was like, this is it. I'm guaranteeing 100% victory. And he disappears. And I love how we basically never see him personally again the rest of the entire fight. And it's just Hisoka, you know, on the ropes, on the ropes. Granted, again, Hisoka, again, really never looks flustered. You know, we don't think him seeing, besides like, oh, am I going to die? Fluff him. Might as well try this. I love the fight from top to bottom. But the ending of a story can wipe away all the good that happened. And that's just kind of what it felt like to me, you know? And I'm just going to kind of leave it there. Again, if you guys still want to talk about it, we can talk about it in the comment section of this video. We just talked about it 20 minutes. This chapter is going to take 20 plus minutes. And I'm expecting the chapters to kind of be more text heavy now, because we were scrolling through we were finishing the chapters in like 15 minutes, because a lot of it was just panels with no words because of all the action and stuff. But we'll kind of see how it plays out here. Let me get another note sheet ready. And yeah, we'll just go from there. And another thing, I'm just going to hate that, like, if Hisoka does start plucking them off one by one, because, you know, he's not going to die to anybody. It just sucks that, like, in the end, when Kurapika wants to go on his revenge mission to get Chrollo and the troop members, it's going to be like Kurapika having to take out Shizuku and Killua's sibling, and that's it, you know? It's like, and then that storyline is easier. No, if Kurapika wants his clan's revenge, I want to see him go through every single one. And some might say that's impossible, but damn it, if that's the revenge you want and you're going on that suicide mission, that's what you're going to have to do. You want to avenge your clan, you know they got 10 members, and you want to pluck them off one by one, you might even get ambushed 2 by 1, and it might be impossible. There might be no way for Kurapika to win that battle, even 1v1, let alone 2v1. Well, you signed up for that, you know? But now if Hisoka takes out half of them and only leaves 2 or 3, and it's like, Kurapika doesn't really have to deal with much, and it's just whatever. But we'll just leave that there. Chapter 358, what is it titled? The Eve. I'm guessing this is right before we leave off. Let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the day we've all been, holy shit, are these all people? Oh my god. The dawn of a new era, the boundless prosperity for humanity. Okay, this is way too zoomed in. Let me move this just a little bit. Okay. The journey to the new continent starts tomorrow. Are there no... Okay, I was about to say, let the party begin. I'm ready... I want to see like an inside shot because I see how big it is, but man, it's huge. How's it going, everyone? Are you ready to witness history? What you're about to experience is history. Yes, you are part of history, and you. Here we are. Let's hear it for the magnificent juggernaut who made this modern-day arc possible, our king, Nasubi Guru. I only have one thing to say. I'm the magnificent king. The new continent is within our grasp. Everyone's chanting king, king, king. On stage 2, we have a general supervisor beyond, and the princes, the heirs to the magnificent king, waiting to take the first step on the historic voyage. Here's all of them. Who's holding the baby? Where's the little one? I don't see the baby. I don't see the mother holding the baby. Maybe I'm missing it. But yeah, here's everybody. Why the hell is like Beyond and this other guy pseudo giants, and some of the other ones are just average men? Is this T-boy here on the end in the suit? I think it is. And yeah, side note, I've had a lot of people building up this guy, saying, again, he doesn't have the body of a UP, of a Pito, of a Miriam. I don't know what his ability is yet, but a lot of people have been saying his ability alone, he's taken out Netero, he's killing Ging, he could give Miriam a run for his money and possibly beat Miriam. And I've had some people come in and say, whoa, hold on, slow down there. But a lot of people have been saying that when I find out his ability and what he's able to do, there's nobody that we've been introduced to yet that he couldn't beat. Those are some strong words. Okay, maybe if it's going to stay like this, maybe we can zoom in a little bit more. Everyone is here tonight, but I wonder how many will still be around for tomorrow's ceremony. No matter, I will win in the end. They're speaking this to each other, right? This isn't over the loudspeaker. Watch me, you ignorant masses. I will be the one. I will be the next king. Yep, everyone's just sitting there with like fake smiles. Okay, here's the baby holding here. This looks like the guy from the original Hunter exam that's got the laptop. Looks like the girl from Demon Slayer. The chick with the pink hair that's always laughing. And this is the one that's supposed to be, looking out for the little people. We'll see. The airship carrying the king is lifting off for the Black Whale, and there it goes. Has there ever been a king who risked his own life to lead his people into uncharted lands? No, never. Is he going too, as well? The magnificent king and the magnificent ship. And touchdown. How magnificent. The airships carrying the princes and various VIPs are following one by one. On the water, the ferries for the general public are also setting sail for the Black Whale. Look at that. What a tremendous undertaking. Did he say every single prince is on their own? Yeah, okay. I'm digging the animation, the art, what are we calling this? The drawing, the sketches? It looks pretty good. What a cause for celebration. Enjoy the festives, everyone. Is this inside? I guess it is that big. It looks like an actual city in there. Like, are we in? Now, they said, the general public are also setting sail for the Black Whale. We haven't caught up with this in so long that I'm kind of, lost on some of the info. General public, like, are people that aren't qualified just allowed to hop on for the ride? Or when general public, are we talking about people that have like gone through the vetting process, hunters, the Zodiacs, that kind of thing? I don't know, because like everybody we're seeing here, this is just like people partying and hanging out. Rich and everybody alike. Princes, their bodyguards, all that kind of stuff. Okay, here we go. Nice. The Black Whale layered in 5 tiers, the first of which is for the royal family. The royal family's on this tier? The one that just has something big enough for a boat? Or royal family, V5 politician, and industry dignitaries. The second is for celebrities and the rich. The third and below are zoned for general passengers. So are these supposed to be hunters, everybody else that qualified and met the vetting process? And 2 and 1 is for people that kind of like their status got them on. dignitaries, celebrities, people of importance, politicians, that type of thing. The, the throwaways between tiers are guarded by the royal army. The ship will be under martial law. So they're just going to have like gunned thugs at every tier, so you can't have people from the general going up and beating up on the rich or vice versa. The second and third tiers are separated by a thick bulkhead, which can be only opened in emergencies from the second tier. What if I got an emergency down low and we need to come up top? What if we're sinking down here? So only tiers 1 and 2 are hunting grounds, aka who's speaking is the question. I need to know who this is coming from. Hunting grounds as far as stealing and killing and people of actually importance worth killing. Exercise restraint on board. The real party begins after the disembarkation ceremony in 2 months. Until then, we are guards, not soldiers. We will execute Operation Assault only if First Prince Benjamin commands, but the circumstances must be exceptional. The prince's living quarters are strictly separated, and since their entire day takes place within them, contact between guard teams will be limited. All princes will attend dinner parties every Sunday, to which dignitaries are also invited. What happens when they stop showing up every Sunday, when they start tricking off one by one? But they will enter and leave at prescribed times, and no prince will pass another in transit. So they're really... Is this like head of prince security? But he also seems to be down with like, hey, if we're killing, we're killing. So there isn't an opportunity for now, and perhaps for the entire time. An opportunity for what? Like, what are you saying? Like, really say it, you know? That would be convenient for security purposes. We'll find a way to avoid the succession battle in the meantime. Yes, it is possible to contact other queens and princes with the ship's phones. Lower-ranking wives cannot call the higher wives, and the military manages the phone lines. Well, not going to use that. The Royal Army, a neutral party to the succession battle, monitors the halls. They keep track of all activities. Assassination would be impossible. I don't know what the king intends. Okay, so he's saying the Royal Army is supposed to pretty much prevent any of this from happening. So I think what he's saying up here, once we really take off, is when we're really going to start seeing some backstabbing and all that kind of stuff. So until then, we're just like guarding and keeping the peace. But if shit goes down, we're in there, like swimwear. King's quarters, reception hall, prince's quarters. So the king is actually on board too. That's ballsy. There are plenty of loopholes in this situation. Considering the presence of Nen users, the possibilities are limitless. Yeah, it is. This isn't just regular people walking around like, sir, you can't come in here. Alright, and turn around and dip out. You don't know who's invisible, who's being manipulated, who's moving inside the walls. Like, you don't know. We must first get some idea of the enemy's capabilities and assess the balance of power. We currently only know the number of guards employed by each prince. Our resources are meager, even discounting the existence of Nen users. The associate hunters guarding the areas outside living quarters aren't our allies either. In fact, they could be dangerous. The examinees hired by Kakin must have been kept ignorant of the circumstances. That's how most guards eluded my chain. Oh yeah, with all the interview tapes that he probably went over. Their exams are more lenient than the team for the Dark Continent. Since they would be associate members with limited licenses only for voyage, it's coming back to haunt us. Outside the prince's living quarters on Tier 1, almost 150 professional hunters will be roaming the halls with secret missions. Yeah, you don't know what each hunter is even really, what their real motives are. Instead of revising the bylaws, we took to moderate route of adding a clause under Article 2 for associate members. Rather than clarifying risk into black and white, I can't help but feeling that this promoted considerable uncertainties and increased the possibility of unpredictable events. Or is my particular situation with the succession battle and the need to seek contract with T making me hypersensitive? Yeah, I think... I feel like Karapika's gotta he's always just gonna be on tilt. Misa, what is it? I'm focused on tiers 3 and 4. The crime rate is far higher than anticipated. Ticket fraud and theft, racial conflicts, drunken brawls, identity theft, assault, etc., plus plenty of false reports. On top of it all, it's just a mess. People believe if someone commits a crime, their ticket will be invalid, and someone from the waiting list gets to get on board. Now they're saying if you're the one who reports the crime of a ticket holder, you get their spot. Cochrana's response hasn't been consistent. This is a mess. When they take off, it's just going to be an absolute mess. We're assisting the military to take command of the security. We won't be able to attend the Zodiac's meeting before the departure. We underestimated the sloppiness. The plans are meaningless. The medical teams are the worst. There are 3 clinics on Tier 3 and only 2 on Tier 4 and 5. There's not even a dedicated doctor for Tier 5. The number of clinics is a fifth of what was planned, and only 1/5 of the doctors came. I'm trying to think of like a movie that I feel like I've seen, not like this, but seen a big kind of movie where like something's taken off into space or taken off by sea. And it's this huge thing with hundreds, thousands of passengers on board, and like it's supposed to go in one way and just completely turns into a shit show. On the other hand, 1 in 20 people in the upper tiers are doctors. Cheadle had to go hire more and reorganize the staff. Sounds like the meeting itself will be canceled. This might be the last call before we leave. Be careful. Oh, they haven't even taken off yet and shit's already hitting the fan. We might be able to use the chaos downstairs depending on timing. Oh, talking to the Queen. We should confirm your emergency evacuation route so we're on the same page. Emergency? What else could possibly happen? If a fire or riot breaks out, the gate between tiers and 3 could be open. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's to really stop the lower tiers from ganging up? I mean, if you've got 100 and something plus hunters, some of them, while they could be considered lower hunters, their abilities could be considered like S-class. What could really keep them from busting through those doors if the army is just basic, fodder with guns? We might be able to sneak past the princes and the army and blend in with the public. Is that possible? We must be prepared because we don't know what could happen. You should also learn where the blimp, lifeboats, and pods are and how to use them. Knowledge will vastly increase the probability of survival. When you must make a snap decision in a life or death situation, the difference between not knowing and knowing what's possible is huge. That's a true statement. She's freaking out. She's freaking out. Your Majesty, are you alright? I have prepared myself. Oh. She can't. Wow. Could you imagine, like, mentally going somewhere and knowing, like, when I go to this destination, I'm going to die? That's a lot to mentally. That's a lot to mentally think about. It's a lot to mentally accept. Like, imagine you're in your house. It could be anything. When I go to school tomorrow, when I go to work tomorrow, when I go to X, Y, and Z, I don't plan on ever leaving there. And if I do, I'm going to die at this place. So this is the last time you leave your house. This is the last time you see everything. Maybe the last time you say hi to somebody or bye to somebody. You're like, yeah, because I don't ever plan on coming back to this place because I'm going to die. And she had to mentally, like, take that in. And now she's, like, coming back out of the rabbit hole thinking, like, hold on, I actually could, what did she set in motion that could possibly be like, hey, I was going to die. I wonder what she maybe would have done, maybe what she did on the outside world. You should rest a while. I will gather the necessary intel. Yes, thank you. Take the Queen and the Prince to their sleeping quarters. System control room. What's happening here? Is anything wrong? Did Karapika just sense something? Like somebody, like kind of like someone's breathing down my neck type thing? Or, because he snapped back real quick. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you freaking out about? Oh, that's it. Cole Topi. What? Is this supposed to be Kuratopi? Because I know we saw Shalnark in the last one, and you guys let me know that was the English pronunciation. But we never saw Kuratopi with her hair kind of like brushed back, so I don't know if this is foreshadowing on what was sensed here. or not. So we didn't get too much kind of like groundbreaking information. We just got kind of housekeeping things and letting you know who's on what tier and what's really going down. You've got the Royal Army here that's pretty much supposed to be making sure that there's no kind of assassination succession plan going on. But they do know that's kind of going on. I don't know, again, are these just thugs with guns? Or are these actual Nen users that might have a little bit of skill? Who knows? It's already a shit show going on, and they haven't. How long do they plan on sitting? They said 2 months. The Prince's living quarters be limited, so there's an opportunity for now and perhaps for the entire time. We'll be on execution command. Somebody said 2 months on something. The real party begins in the ceremony in 2 months. So what, they had to come onto the ship 2 months early? Why so early? Why not 2 days? You know, to get situated. I don't need to be hovered up in here for 2 months then to take off. Call me when it's time. You know, I wonder what the 2 month, like, what are we holding on for? You know, but this looks like it. This looks like it's going to be actual chaos. There's so many people in here that probably aren't fighters, probably have no skill. They've just got hired guns, and it's just going to be an absolute mess. When shit hits the fan, you've got the succession shit that's going to take off, you know, all that backstabbing. You don't know what all these hunters and everything are doing down there below. You don't know what the Zodiacs, some of them might have ulterior motives, what gang and Harrison and them are trying to do. Oh, man. And these levels and everything, when everyone starts, I don't know, it just seems like an absolute mess. So everybody important is up here. So like, are what we seeing, like where this Royal Army is, we see Karapika here and everybody else. When they say level 1, are they inside this yacht on top? Are they in a boat on a boat? Is that where all the royal and everything is? The first is for the royal family, V5 politicians, and the industry dignitaries. So all of them are here. Level 2 is for celebrities and people that are rich. Level 3 was for what? Our general passengers. So they could be passengers, general population, hunters, all that kind of stuff. Each one is separated and kind of marked off, but there's nothing keeping somebody extremely strong from busting these doors down unless they're like Nen enhanced or something. But it already seems like shit's hitting the fan. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. And yeah, the only thing we really need clarification on is the general public part. She says over here, the general public are also setting sail for the Black Whale. By general public, we're talking hunter. Are we just basically talking about everybody that's not a royal family or a celebrity? I don't know. We'll kind of wait and see how that plays out. But that's 358. And we will kind of leave that there. Again, even though all of us agree, some of us agreed and disagreed, I appreciate the support on the videos. I was actually so shocked and surprised that 357 actually still did hit 100 likes. So I appreciate that we can have open discussions and not like go at people's throats and just can like have a constructive back and forth. And yeah, Patreon members, you guys will see this Monday at noon. YouTube, you guys will see this on Friday. Again, if this video that you're currently watching can get 100 likes, and tomorrow's video, 359, can also get 100 likes, next week, same old, 2 videos, 360 and 361, and we'll go from there. Appreciate it, guys. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always,